Welcome back to the Sound for More channel. Today I have the pleasure to show you how you can master using the Mastering Assistant inside Logic Pro for iPad. Before I continue, I would like to remind my viewers to subscribe as it helps with growing the channel. Thank you very much. So I'm inside Logic Pro for the iPad on an iPad Pro M1. And as you can see, I have created a project with 3 MIDI tracks, and it sounds like so. And effectively, I have used SR88 from Audiothing for the drums, and then I have used BA1 from Baby Audio as a synth for both track number 2 and 3, therefore for that bass and that black type of sound. What Apple suggests when using the Mastering Assistant is to follow a step-by-step process. First of all, Mastering Assistant is a plugin which you need to add in, which of course comes with Logic Pro for iPad, and it has been designed to make your final mix sound better, great across the playback device. So it works in a way of analyzing the audio, and then it will automatically fine-tune the sound, making some dynamic adjustments, and of course balance any frequency corrections and adding any character, sonic enhancement, etc., etc. But then you can also make your own adjustment. So the workflow that Apple suggests is first to finish your mixing your project, and therefore to ensure everything is sounds balanced and dynamically consistent, and you have plenty of headroom. Then you add the Mastering Assistant, and then you let it analyze your project, and then you listen, of course, to it. Perhaps you may decide to make some changes, and it can analyze a part of a project, like a cycle, or the entire project itself. Of course, if you're not happy with the results, you can make any adjustment in the details view. And then finally, if you're all happy, you just export the project as an audio file and perhaps load it in other production, on social media, whatever you need to do. So in these first 3 tracks, as you can see, if I bring in the plugin editor, you can see I have used a gain plugin here to do some gain adjustment on the 3 of them, here, even here on BA1, and also on this one. I have reduced effectively the gain a little bit, so that when I go to the mixer, and if I bring it up to max view, it is more or less all in the green area as I play. And of course, consider this is just an example. You might want to do it in a different way. Now, when that is done, and by no means I'm assuming that this is the perfect setup, there's only just one way to do that, you need to add the Mastering Assistant. So there are 2 ways you can do that. You can first go to the mixer, like so, and then you go on Setup View, and then you can click here on the mastering here on the wizard here, and on the magic wand, sorry, and you add the Master Assistant. Or the other way is actually to go directly on a plugin view and click on Output, and then click here on Mastering. And as you can see, it has added the Mastering Assistant plugin. And if you go to the other tracks, you can see it's already there for all the different tracks. And indeed, if I go to the mixer now, you can see Mastering Assistant is there as well. So let's double click on it, and let's maximize the view so we know what it looks like. So we close the mixer like so, and then double click on the Mastering Assistant. Okay, perfect. So the first thing to notice is here on the top left hand side, you have a character, and you can choose between different character in terms of the processing which is applied. That is actually emulating different hardware mastering chain. And you have different types. You start from clean, which is more of a punchy result, great for EDM, acoustic music. Then you have valve, which simulates a processing chain utilizing tubes. And therefore, you have a deep low end and refined high end, and great for both acoustic music and hip hop genre. Then you have punch, which is more of an aggressive type of sound, which emphasizes the mid-range frequency, great for rock music. And then you have really transparent, which is what is selected by default at the moment, which is more a modern type of sounding compressor suitable for mostly any genres of music. And you can change between all of them. And of course, at the moment, the character is transparent. So let's play. And you can see also it changes the color as well, which is quite nice. Then you have an auto EQ slider, which effectively allows you to control the amount of correction that the correction EQ, which is estimated by the mastery assistant. So you can increase it or decrease it. And of course, when you double click, it will go back to the default, and you see the percentage here applied, which is 100%. I'll come back to this custom EQ in a moment. Down here, you have Reanalyze section. It says section because we have the loop activated, so otherwise it will not be reanalyzing that section. Of course, you might want to click on it to reanalyze it if you make any changes to your project. Of course, if you don't have anything in your project, it will say analyze after you add some content as well. Okay, you have a bypass button, which of course allows you to switch to unprocessed audio. And that is quite good because it allows you to directly compare the audio with or without processing. So and that can be quite handy in terms of references, comparing pre and post processing. Then you have loudness compensation here, which what it does practically match the volume of the processed audio with what was the original one before the processing, so that you ensure a balanced and unbiased, which is called basis for comparison. Okay, so effectively, you can assess changes or improvements made during the processing stage without being influenced by the loudness. Okay, so let me show you. Of course, both loudness compensation and bypass, remember to disable them before you export your audio. Then moving on, up here on the dynamics, you have a loudness knob, and that allows you to change the loudness of the process audio, really. It typically is registered at around -14 lufs, and which is normally the target loudness for many streaming platform, but it doesn't have to be like so. You can make your own adjustment. Then, of course, you have an excite button, which you can turn on, and that is introducing saturation to frequency like the upper mid-range of the signal. So it gives you something more vintage transform-based console, typical of the 60s, 70s, 80s. So Okay, perfect. Then here we have a true peak meter, which displays the signal level on decibel as true peak, which is quite interesting. Click here to reset it, of course. Then, of course, when you play, you have new measurement there. And that is quite good because you represent the absolute highest level a signal is reaching. And that is important in order to ensure that it's below that ceiling. Okay. Then you have a Loudness meter here. And you have 3 lines here. The M is your current momentary meters. Then you have short-term and integrated loudness measurement as well. And so when you play, you can see them in action. And then, of course, you have a range as well here, which indicates the loudness range during measurement. And then you have a stop button, which activated the loudness meter and therefore started the measurement of the audio signal, and then you can also reset it. So it's quite good. You can see the range there. And then, of course, you can reset it like so. Perfect. Then down here, you have the spread section related to your stereo, your width, stereo width. So you have a width knob here, which you can increase or decrease to adjust the width of your mix. If you move it to, it will get adjusted by analyzing the section normally, and normally if it's not right to the center, it means that it was either too narrow or too wide. If you move it to the right to the left, is you have your mono signal. So okay, let's reanalyze it again. Okay, then here you have a correlation meter. Okay, and this is quite good because it shows you where you are in terms of phase relationship of the stereo signal. So if it is above 1, like a +1, it means that the left and right channels are completely in phase. If it is around 0, that indicates the widest permissible left and right divergence. And if it is completely the other way, below 0, then you are at risk of phase cancellation. And then here you have a spectrum analyzer, okay, which is quite good. And then you have a compositive curve, which is the one highlighted in solid, right? And if you don't have custom EQ, you don't see the other dotted line with the different points which you can control to adjust gain by frequency. So when this custom EQ is active, you can act on these points and moving up and down. You can see you can go to minus to +6 decibel. This first one is from 20 hertz to 200 hertz. The second one from 200 hertz to 8 kilohertz, like so. And then, of course, you get the last one as well in terms of changing frequency. Same decibel, but it can go from 8 kilohertz to 20 kilohertz. Okay, and so when you finished, you then can export your project and you've finally done your mastering. Okay, I'm going to stop here. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and as always, see you next time. Bye.